Today I'm going to be going through the version 28.1 release notes. As always, there will be a link to the forum in the description below and a timestamp if you want to jump straight ahead to my first impressions and thoughts. That said, let's dive right in. To me, my X-Men, Charles Xavier makes his presence known throughout the battle realm with a bold proposition. Recognize mutant autonomy and the sovereignty of their new nation, Krakoa, and you will be rewarded with unimaginable medical marvels. Unimpressed by Professor X's message of hope and peace, Iron Man suspects something more sinister lurking below the surface of Krakoa's tropical paradise. However, some secrets are better left buried, as Tony Stark's investigation into the origins of Xavier's mutant utopia brings him face to face with a might immortal. Can there truly be peace between man and mutant in the battle realm? Find out in the Rise of X. Looking for an extra challenge? Try the first ever Cavalier difficulty. Two champions rise to unite mutant kind. Professor X believed in the peaceful coexistence of mutants and humans, but this all changed when Moira McTaggart revealed to him the inevitable demise of mutant kind, unless Professor X could change his ways. Under the new moniker X, he gave up his old dreams. No more would mutants endure the afflictions and prejudice of humankind. Under the formidable rule of X, the mutant nation of Krakoa was founded, and those who defy the nation must enter the mindscape and face Professor X in a duel of mental strength. Thousands of years ago, in ancient Akaba, the first living being on Earth to express the mutant X gene was born, given the name Ansaba Nur, or the first one. As he traveled the Earth, Ansaba Nur deemed himself Apocalypse, convincing ancient civilizations that he was a deity and manipulating them into fighting wars, which he justified as stimulating growth, judgment, and destruction. After conquesting the Earth for many millennia, Apocalypse used celestial technology to enter a period of suspended animation for many centuries, awakening in the current age and deciding the Earth is ready for further examination. Find out more about these two titans of mutantdom in their spotlights when they land next week. Set sail for Mutant Treasure Island. Set sail for mutant mayhem. Explore the mysterious island packed to the brim with secrets and treasure. Pirate King Platinum Pool is looking to plunder this island for all it's worth. Make sure to get in while you can and discover what riches lie in store, and maybe even run into the Pirate King himself. This massive 28+1 path quest has no entry requirements, but to access any of the paths you'll need a key that you can only get from a Platinum Jones locker. Get one of these from objectives, one of which will be added every day. Magneto realizes his true power. It's time to revamp another leader of the fight for mutant kind, the master of magnetism and both friend and foe of the X-Men, Magneto. Both Magneto and the newly renamed Magneto House of X receive a total kit overhaul with this release. Magneto shows his villainous side and will focus on punishing #Metal Champions, while the redeemed Magneto House of X focuses on empowering #Metal Champions and heroes on his team. It's time to lay the smackdown on the Omega Boss Rush. The final week of the Summoner Smackdown is on its way. We hope you've been collecting those sunglasses and saving your potions, because this is going to be hard. You'll need 5 sunglasses to enter each difficulty, so if you haven't cleared out the other Summoner Smackdown boss rushes, you'll need to do that first. Each difficulty level will have a different number of fights, with the epic difficulty boasting a roster of 31 very difficult fights back to back. This is not for the faint of heart, so you're gonna need to bring your best self to the fight. Sell from stash. To help with inventory management, this long requested quality of life improvement is here. Summoners can now sell items directly from their stash. No more making room in your inventory just to claim and then sell. Champion tag filter. Summoners will now be able to sort their champions by tag on the champions page and edit team selection. Act 6 adjustments. Our first wave of access content adjustments are here. Next month we'll be tuning fights that were specifically called out by our community. Chapter 3, Quest 1 through 6, they removed the 200% attack buff from the global nodes. Quest 2 and 3, they reduced 700% health buff to 600%. And in Chapter 4, Quest 1 through 6, they removed the 300% attack buff from the global nodes. And then a series of bug fixes and stuff, which I'll talk about in my first impressions. So, first impressions, this is pretty cool. It is awesome to actually get confirmation of Professor X. I honestly didn't think it would happen, just because, like, Magneto had so much like negative air around him, I thought that putting Professor X was a dangerous move, but they did it anyway. So I hope he comes out to be a badass. I do hope this is not a wheelchair version of Professor X. I feel like that version of Professor X is really well played and overplayed a little bit in the movies, because that's the only version we ever see. And since they're opting for a Professor X who's like changed his ways, I really hope this is not, but it might be. I don't know. I do think that it's a good opportunity to provide, a different version of Professor X in the community's eyes. But I think it's also really, really, really cool to have Apocalypse. That's going to be badass. He sounds like a badass. So yeah, I hope both of these champions end up being really strong, because there's a lot of potential for disappointment when you introduce two badass characters. So we'll just, wait and see. Mutant Treasure Island, I already talked about. It should be good. I still wish they would do the objectives and the access to the Platinum Jones lockers and the keys a little bit differently, but, that's a small complaint. It is a long month, so there is, going to be more of that as well. It's going to be a little bit tedious, but I think the rewards will kind of make up for it. Also, they, just threw one sentence in. Try the first ever Cavalier difficulty. We don't get any other information than that. So Cavalier difficulty confirmed, which is awesome, but literally that's it. So I'm looking forward to that as well. I know we already had confirmation that it was coming in September, but it's nice to see that in the patch note as well, just to get that confirmation and that solidified information. We'll see. I'm really, really, really looking forward to that. Haven't decided if I'm going to dive right into Cavalier on Wednesday or wait till the weekend. Honestly, not sure. I'll probably decide on launch. Magneto realizes his true power. Both of these buffs I'll do as a champion as fast as possible, although it might be a little bit tough for both of them. They've got quite extensive kits, but they both look pretty solid, and they're going to have a lot of new value in the game. The Omega Boss Rush, my biggest comment is that it's 31 very difficult fights. So that means even with the other 5 put together, each of those was only 6 fights. So we're also going to have a boss, or a boss to the boss rush, I expect. So I'm interested in who they put on there. Not sure, but it'll probably be Apocalypse or something if I had to guess. We'll see. I'm definitely interested, but otherwise, you can prepare for the other 30 fights because when you read the post of Summer Smackdown, they do say the final one is a gauntlet of the other 5 boss rushes put together. So it's safe to say the other 30 fights are just the other 30 fights for the boss rush. If they change it up, that will be a surprise, but I don't think they will. I think it's just that one extra fight for added variety. I think the Sell From Stash feature is a really good quality of life feature that will have a lot of help in just not having to click so many buttons and go through so many screens. So that'll be nice. And I think this champion tag filter, I think it's about time. I think that when they added the global nodes, the tactics to war, they needed to add this as well, because yes, you could find tags elsewhere, but there was no reliable way in game to find that outside of clicking on each champion individually, and that was such a pain. So finally being able to filter, I think this is huge, especially with war tactics specifically, having that information in game. So I really, really, really like that change. And then the Act 6 adjustments are finally here. So it looks like we're also going to get one more round of tuning adjustments, maybe more. So that's nice. So they're not going fight by fight yet. These are just the general changes. But honestly, I think the general changes alone is going to make a huge difference, because this is where they're taking off the attack rating on chapters 3 and 4. Notably, I don't see 6.2 here, so maybe they aren't going to change the attack rating on 6.2, which is a little unfortunate, but I would have liked to see. But honestly, just these alone are going to be huge. And then the health reduction on Quest 2 and 3 of Chapter 3 is nice as well, because those were a little bit tankier than the rest of the fights. Bug fixes and improvements, I noticed not a lot of crazy things. Definitely some interesting stuff, I think the slow having percentage makes me wonder if we're going to get slows that aren't 100% ability accuracy reduction, or maybe they just want to specify 100%, because sometimes people have bonus ability accuracy. So that'll be interesting. Then the metal tags as well. I don't like seeing Corvus Glaive get a hashtag metal charge tag when we're literally seeing Magneto getting buffed. That's just kind of an unfortunate thing, but it is what it is. The rest of these champions I'm not too bothered by. There's not that big of a deal. And from all of them, it looks to me like a weapon thing, if I had to guess. Just like based on it. The only thing I have an issue with here is I understand like their weapons are metal and they're pivotal parts of the character, but like a lot of people have metal weapons. And while they're not necessarily pivotal, it is relevant, you know, and the hashtag metal and the benefits that Red Magneto has don't necessarily apply to someone if they're not made of metal. It's a little different, like affecting their weapons, yeah, for sure, you can definitely get a lot of benefits, but like, if they're hashtag metal, he also applies minus 105% regeneration, and that just doesn't make sense. Like, he can control your weapon, but how is he preventing you from regenerating? And I understand these champions don't regenerate, except for Hulk Ragnarok, but I just wanted to point that out. It just seems like a cutesy thing that maybe wasn't necessary, but it is going to be nice if you are using Red Magneto, but if you're using probably Corvus Glaive, to be honest, or Hulk Ragnarok, for the most part, I think those are the biggest hits. It just kind of seems weird. And then they removed the hashtag metal tag from Gwenpool. I just want to know why. I don't know if that's a big deal. I don't personally feel like it is. I just literally want to know why. Let's see. After that, I don't think anything crazy. They updated Sorcerer Supreme's slow effect, so that should be good. Nick Fury having the fixed issue where his heal block was not shrugged off. That's a major issue, so that's nice as well. That's happened to me once or twice. But otherwise, bug fixes and improvements, nothing crazy that I noticed. If you did see something and I'm overlooking it, please let me know, because sometimes it's like an interaction that, you know, maybe I'm not aware of, or, you know, I'm overlooking. But yeah, it looks like we've got a pretty good patch, I'm not going to lie. I'm definitely really, really hyped. I wish they had given us more information about Cavalier difficulty. It was time to hype it, but we got a week, and then we've got some crazy, crazy stuff coming. So I'm excited. I hope you are as well, and I'll talk to y'all later. Peace.